Hello out there. Welcome to the No Shit Cast. I'm your host, Matt Frazier. Hey, we're still doing this shit, Mr. Smith. Look at us. Like live without a net. Well, not really live, but anyway, no net. My co-pilot for this evening's festivities, remotely located in a secret bunker. None other than the Grey Wizard of Historical Knowledge himself, Mr. Eric D. Smith. How are you tonight, Mr. Smith?
I'm doing well. Thank you for asking.
We've had some feedback that your audio in the last podcast wasn't quite up to par, so we're trying a new configuration. Hopefully this makes the fans happier. So they can, people get a little upset when they can't listen to the show in the car because the difference between our two volume levels was too severe.
It's hard on the ears.
Yeah. Our engineer sitting in the engineering booth, our in-house Bonneville, and Mr. Devlin. How are you tonight, Mr. Devlin?
I'm doing all right.
So one of the things I had to do tonight is I got to give a shout out to the Overwatch crew, my Overwatch buddies who have all started kind of geeking out about the show here a little bit. So that's, let me see if I got this right. There's a Swanky Tiger, X Fantasy, Clara Nova, obviously Rothson, Reverend, the whole crew out there. Thanks for indulging me in the game and putting up with my shit. But so we're slowly growing a following of Overwatch players now that have sort of started watching the show, which is really kind of nice, man. It's fun because I get on to play Overwatch and then they start asking me questions about the show, which is kind of an interesting new dimension to all of this. So anyway, the big thing I'm kind of noticing this week, and I kind of wanted to get your guys' opinion on it, is that I'm watching the news and stuff. So everybody's having to now sort of, everybody in the news and everything is now having to sort of do this, what we do at some level or another. Yeah. And what I think is funny is I actually think we do it better than most of them already.
With camera angles and audio, I think, at least from some of the ones I've seen.
Yeah, but like everybody's a podcaster now, right? That's kind of what's happened. Like all the major news media figures and they're all at home trying to figure out how to do what we've already been doing for 2 years.
I was seeing on TV today that somebody was doing that from home, and they were talking about like their washer and dryer, and they shut the dryer door, and then the reflection, you could see that they had no shoes or socks on.
Right.
It was just their feet. It was like, oh my God. Okay, that's their feet. All right. That's strange. It was like a newscast or something.
I've seen some video of like a newscast out of the UK where this dude's son walks in, and I mean, he verbally berates this kid. Get the fuck out of here. I'm on the news. Like he's going at him. I'm like, holy shit. So there's a dark side to all of this too, a little bit in a way.
Yeah. See, we always run that risk of somebody coming in from somewhere else that's.
Yeah. We've sort of already dealt with that, right?
I'm going to check the locks.
So I've been geeking out really hardcore here recently about this new Tom O'Neill book that just came out called Chaos, Charles Manson, the CIA, and the secret secret history of the '60s. And so anyway, it's been I've been obsessed with it. It started with a Rogan podcast. I saw Tom O'Neill on the Joe Rogan Experience talking about the book. And it just blew my brain up. So I immediately went and got the Audible download of it, and I've been listening to that. And some fans of the show, I obviously shared it on the show. So some of the fans of the show, Reed Dillashaw, Jeff Cox, some of those folks have kind of been chiming in. And so me and Reed have been back and forth, and I'm going to actually Reed's going to start providing content for the show. You're going to start seeing him more on the No Shit Cast private Facebook group. If you're not in that, hit us up in the Facebook the public group, and we'll get you. It's just one of the things where you got to be invited to it. So I'm going to have Reed start. He's going to start doing a lot more of that kind of stuff for us. And one of the first things out the gate with him, because he's like really deep into this subject, and it really kind of struck a chord with him when we started talking about this on the show. So I've got Reed and I are going to start doing we're going to have him start coming on, and we're going to do a segment per chapter. The problem with this book, and I think everybody should own a copy of this book. Like this guy, if for nothing else, he's an investigative journalist that did 20 years of investigative journalism and pulling documentation and everything together to put this case together that's in this book. So I have a real soft spot for the guy because he's an investigative journalist, and there ain't it doesn't seem to be a lot of them left in the world anyway.
Yeah, definitely.
So I want to support this guy as much as I can, and I can't recommend. I mean, if for nothing else, support him for doing such a great job of hanging in there on this case. But dude, this book is the craziest fucking thing I've seen and read and ever. I'm like, I can't even get. I was telling Reed when we were talking about putting together like something for the show where we talk about this book a little more. I can't get past chapter 6 because I keep going back and making sure I understand the other stuff that this is all sort of built on. So it's like really strangely Machiavellian. Like it's really twisted and sort of intricate, and there's a lot to it. So we're going to start doing this. We're going to dissect this book a chapter at a time, or at least a section at a time, because it's kind of also the way it's written. But we're going to explore that, take those different chapters, come in and talk about what the book's about and what those chapters are about and the significance of them. Because there's a lot of this stuff that after you read it, or like I'm listening to it or whatever, the implications of it doesn't hit you until much later, like how big a deal what you just read or just heard was. So then that's what I mean. Like I have to keep going back, and I think it needs to have that exploration. It needs to have sort of that deep dive. So Reed's gonna definitely be coming on here. Hopefully next week was when we'll do the first segment. And I've sort of we had Mike Barnett was doing. He does content for the No Shit Cast Facebook group. Sends articles and stuff like that over. So this is just somebody else I'm adding. And he's also sort of going to take on a capacity of, I don't want to call him a reporter, but for lack of a better word, he really kind of gets what we're doing, digs the mission of the show, and wants to sort of help us provide content. And I'm like, well, he's got a history in radio and broadcast. So when you talk to him on the phone, he's like, it's like he's got a better radio voice than I do. He's like, so it's going to be really cool. I've had the chance to really kind of talk to him here a bit, and I think the people that listen to the show are really going to think it's a good addition overall once we get it up and rolling. So anyway,
it's a good topic to go deep on.
Everybody, I guess welcome when you get the chance and you see him, or if you just want to pop in and say hi to him on Facebook and stuff. I'm sure he'll be over there. But welcome, Reed Dillashaw. I guess officially now to the No Shit Cast banner. So thanks for indulging me on this idea, Reed, and we look forward to doing this with you, buddy. So good shit.
Hi, Reed.
So that was kind of my show opener stuff, guys. Any interesting tidbits, news, or anything we want to share before we start heading into article land here? The Internet College
Is that
of
the show
Infinite
question?
Knowledge. I didn't have one. I sort of figured I had actually stuff to talk
you
about.
Just asked one though. It was did we have?
I'm asking you. Yeah.
Oh, that is the show question.
Oh, I get it now.
Yeah, I'm not good with the joking.
You have no idea, dude. Wait a minute, Mr. Devlin's peeking up from behind the show monitor, the studio monitor. What do you got there?
I got a show question.
Oh, he's got a show question.
What was the first pet you ever had, and what was their name?
First pet I ever had, and what was its name? That I can remember?
Yes, that you can remember.
My dad and mom had a German Shepherd named Shep. And now I get it. I just remember his name was Shep. Now I get it because he was a German Shepherd. I was little. Forgive me. I haven't thought about this animal since I was like 5 years old. So now it's like, oh, anyway. I'm not the bright one on the show, folks. I'm not making that claim. Anyway, go ahead, Eric.
Me? I had a quadruped named Blackie.
What genus of quadruped did you have?
Canine.
Okay, it was okay. And what was his name? Blackie?
Yeah.
Yeah. How
Yeah.
old were you?
I was about 3, 4.
Yeah, 3 or 4.
Yeah.
What about you, Mr. Devlin?
A dog named Gambit. I would say it would be my first pet, honestly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What
Even though
color was he?
mine. Yeah, but he was like brown and black. I just don't know what he was a mutt, so I don't know exactly.
Guess what?
Yeah, he was a mutt.
I'm only laughing because I guess it's obvious what color mine was.
Blackie? I'm going to guess gray. When he got older.
Was he blue?
Hey, man, I was like 3 or 4. I wasn't sure about what to name a dog, but he was completely a black dog. It was
So
like
he's
a
black.
lab of some kind or something.
That's what my guitar's called.
It's like
Is it?
Yeah.
It's like something how when I was little and Amory and Karen were little, we would name your car like Taco.
Taco.
Yeah. And
See, it feels racist
Blackie.
now. I mean, like I feel like my Appalachian parents didn't refine that name or anything, but I feel kind of guilty now. Like I had an albino parrot. I should have called him Whitey.
Yeah.
What?
Well, for
like
the for
Whitey Cracker or something.
yeah, right. For the sake of for the sake of
yeah,
balancing
I
it
feel
out.
kind of bad about that now. It sounds kind of bad. But I mean, I was just a little kid, and it was a black dog, and I wasn't creative. So
No, I have a guitar that's it's a Eric Clapton autograph. It's a duplicate of an Eric Clapton guitar that he named Blackie. That's why the guitar is named Blackie. It's not. But now that you mention it, I kind of think about it. I'm like, yeah, that might be a little racist. I didn't mean it to be. It's a really good guitar, if it's any consolation.
yeah. And I named that albino parrot Elric, so that was good.
Yeah, it was named Elric, like after the book series.
Yeah, with the main character who's an albino.
Right. Yep. He's a mage or a wizard of some sort, right? With hourglass pupils for eyes or something.
Nope, that's Dragonlance.
That's Dragonlance.
Wizard.
Yeah.
Raistlin.
I get it all mixed up now. It was so long ago.
One wizard's the same as the next.
Yeah.
Gray Wizard, Raistlin.
Historical wizards.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're all the same.
Dime a dozen. Charlatans.
you know them well, don't you? Being the Gray Wizard, that is, I'm saying you probably know them well.
Well, yeah, they're like in my fraternity.
Yeah, right? That's what I'm getting at. Yeah.
Have you met Gandalf?
Gandalf.
The other Gray Wizard?
Yeah, Radagast and Gandalf and what was it? Solomon, right?
Solomon. No,
I don't actually. There's more of them too. I think there's like 5 wizards. I think in Middle Earth, and they're called something like Istari. I don't really know because I'm not a huge Middle Earth fan, but I know that in the shows, Radagast was there because he was played by Sylvester McCoy, who was one of the doctors.
No clicking. You're clicking.
Oh, you're right.
You told me to tell you. Anyway, I'm sorry. You were so eloquently going on. Yeah.
Yeah. Just that I know that Radagast
was the trippy wood wizard or whatever. He was in the movies, the
Hobbit movies.
The Hobbit movies, yeah.
Yeah. He's played by Sylvester McCoy, who played the 7th Doctor, I believe. 7th.
Oh, interesting. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Why would I? I don't like Doctor Who. I still don't like I know you guys are geeks and we have Doctor Who props in the shop. And I don't know. I don't get it. It's not for me.
There's lots of wizards. I've had my own wizards.
Have you?
Yeah. There's the Wizard of Space and Time, too. Have you seen that?
No.
It's a really neat, short movie. Like a novella compared to a novel.
Is that that's not inside the universe of Middle Earth, right?
No, not the Wizard of Speed and Time. It's like an actual film, and there's 2 versions of it. There's a late 70s version, which is shorter, and then there's a longer version, but it's like an independent film, but it's kind of cool. It's like a cult independent film. But anyway, the guy that's like the on there, he's dressed up like a wizard and stuff, and I've used that image for some of my wizards before, or one of them at least, because it was hilarious.
Like in game wizard kind of thing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Like one of my D&D characters that was a wizard, a magic user. His name was Kazmaz Space.
You know who else just started playing Dungeons and Dragons regularly for the first time?
The Bond villain, I hear.
Yeah, the Bond villain. They're plotting. They're using it as a tool to determine, strategize and stuff.
I've seen his character.
Do I got that about right, Devlin?
Sure.
Right enough to not need correcting by me.
So how, tell people how this group you got that you're playing with came together, because it's really interesting to me. They're not meeting obviously because of the whole COVID epidemic, but they've started playing. Tell everybody how you're pulling this off. It's kind of cool.
So what we do is we all meet on Discord, which is it's an app kind of like Skype. Not really though. It's hard to explain, but we meet on Discord, and we call on there, have a group call, and then we go to a browser site known as Roll20, and we log into this game room where our DM then has control over everything, and we can talk in the text boxes and the roll dice through Roll20, and we can see as if we were looking at a game board what was happening, and we can also move our own characters around. It's pretty cool,
and it's all customizable and everything too, right? Like it's pretty user friendly from what I understand as well. It's not
from what I understand.
Tons of my friends are getting together on Roll20 and other platforms like Screen Monkey. That's getting to be really more and more popular with the lockdown everywhere and stuff. Yeah. Well, I've not been on it myself though.
Well, I look at what's going on. Well, yeah, man, you should start running games that way. More people would participate.
I'm still running those dangerous face-to-face games.
I know. You're killing me. But I was thinking about this. This is kind of one of those things that's a mechanism that people are having to default to. But I would say that they're finding value in it above the traditional means now, because they're having to try the tools out and figure out how to use them.
I suppose so. I mean, before the lockdown began, there was a lot of people I knew that was using Roll20 and those kind of platforms, but they were getting together with their friends that they used to know in high school that had moved to different places, right? They were using it as a way of connecting together from the past and keeping games going. And that's about what most are doing. Then a little after that, they started more famous people would run games and put the word out, and you could kind of sign up for those games, like designers of their own games running games and stuff like that. Like I just got a game called Cave Master. It's a Paleolithic role-playing game. And there's
role-playing games are like porn. There's a version of it for everything you can think
there is,
of.
Yeah. And the guy that helped write it, he runs games every so often on Roll20.
Okay.
So, but now that's like the main way of doing it.
Right.
Like I was playing in a 3.5 edition game out in a nearby city, and they split up for a while when this happened, and now they're getting together on Discord too.
As well.
So the people that were like really well versed in streaming and video games are tending to use Discord and Roll20 together, but the people who were never apt at doing that, the older people, they just kind of went to Roll20 and they're interfacing with that. So there's some people using Google Hangout in Roll20 as opposed to Discord in Roll20.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So there's a lot of different ways you can do it.
Oh no.
I've played with a guy. I've played Dangerous Journeys with a guy in Denmark, Lars, just over webcam and Skype.
It's a lot of fun. I mean, it's a way to connect. Well, my point was, I guess where I was going with this was that here's an instance of where we're seeing things I think are going to be going to change and not change back.
Yeah.
From all
Or
of
at least
this,
become
right?
more accessible to people as
Yeah.
an option.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, people. It's easier for people to get together to do these kinds of things now than it ever has been. Ever has been.
There was stigma and excuses before, but now there's no time like the present.
I was in a Roosters restaurant, which is a local, like in Ohio in the Midwest, is a wing place. I just went out because I'm trying to, you got to buy food, and I was shocked at how well they've already adapted to all of this.
I've been there
they
like
got
3 or
that
4
shit
times.
down, dude. They're not fucking
Yeah.
around. It's
Nope,
you
you
never
go in, you get your stuff. They open the door for you. You don't touch anything.
you don't touch
except your bag.
anything. They had a rack.
Yeah.
They had a rack that had sanitized pens on it. And you you just pick the pen up off the rack, you sign, and you put the pen down, they sanitize it and put it right back on the rack. You never come face to face with anyone that does except for the people that work there, and they all stay like 6 feet away. It's like, whoa, oh wow, man. I mean, it was just like, and dude, it's easier now. It's so much easier now. It's like it's the difference between going to Disney World and I don't mean that all of this is better. I mean this is gonna. I don't mean that.
Okay,
but there's
you don't have to admit to it, but okay.
But there's certain things about this that I don't think we should ever go back to doing the old way. Like when you pick. So now instead of just you make your phone in order at a restaurant. At least this is the way these guys are handling it, right? This Roosters franchise or this Roosters restaurants. You make your phone order, then they text you 5 minutes before your order comes up. And then you park your car in the parking lot, you wait till your time slot, you go in, you do your thing, you get out. Boom, done. Like it's seamless.
Have you shopped at Best Buy?
I haven't, no.
Did you roll up to Best Buy, right? You walk up and they keep you like about 10 feet away. If you start getting too close, they'll tell you just to stop, and they'll talk loud enough, and they'll say, "Give me your phone number," and they'll take your phone number inside, and somebody calls you while you go out and wait in your car, and they'll say, "What can I get for you? I'm going to be your shopper." You tell them what you want, whether you know exactly what that is or the thing that you think you want,
right?
And they come out with the thing or a few things that it might be, and then they'll come out and they'll show it to you, and if you need to see it.
Right.
Or otherwise, if you know what you want, you can just pay for it with your card, like on the phone, and then they'll set the package out, and you just come and you get your package. There's nobody around.
Yeah. I'm looking at some of this stuff, man. I mean, okay, so these types of social distancing measures, some of them are going, there's no way that you could have a prosperous society if you keep all of these. You know what I mean? Like some of this stuff, we're going to have to get a cure for this. We're going to have to get a vaccine for this because we're going to have to be able to go back out and do certain things or good Lord.
Swim in the same swimming pool again?
Yeah,
is what you're saying?
Maybe. Although I'm not a big fan of that either. But I was thinking about like there's some of this stuff like the shields that they're putting up in grocery stores so that when you're paying for your groceries and stuff they have a clear plastic shield. Like I don't want them to ever take those down. Like I think that for COVID whatever aside, right? COVID-19 aside, like this isn't like some of this shit's a good idea.
Backstreet Boy tickets.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, but Backstreet Boys is what it is, right? We want to avoid the Backstreet Boys. So
the reunion tour is very dangerous.
I hear that it's even worse. Yeah, the reunion tour is like the thing you want to avoid because that's horrible. Yeah.
So be careful. Don't get tickets.
Don't get tickets. No.
And don't interact with anybody who has tickets.
That's right.
Because it has a very big turnover rate.
Yeah, I hear you, man. We got to be careful. You're right, Eric. Backstreet Boys. Yeah. Anyway, I could go on. You guys want to cover some articles?
Yes.
I don't know what I'm going to do if you ever say no to that question.
Let's do it.
All right. So what's our first article there, Mr. Devlin?
This is from Unilad. YouTube's first ever video was posted about 15 years ago. Today. Actually, today for us.
Hey, that's
for us, but not for the people hearing and seeing this.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, right. Correct. Yeah, as of the date of recording. Well, that's a scary looking dude.
And what is the date today?
February or April 23rd.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay,
I'll take your word on that.
It says it's difficult to recall a time before YouTube, a time before you could watch 5-minute snippets of news stories or interviews again and again, encased in amber for future commenters. But as there is with all things, there was a beginning, with the very first video being uploaded exactly 15 years ago today on April 23rd, 2005. It's hard to remember a time without YouTube.
2005, huh?
Yeah. So, God, for me, that seems like yesterday. This was a time before Twitter and Instagram, when we web surfers were figuring out how to present ourselves online, how to shape a page in such a way that it could present a piece of yourself to the world beyond your school and beyond your family. The very first video uploaded to YouTube was unbelievably wholesome by today's standards, an 18-second clip by then 26-year-old co-founder Jawed Karim, I'm sorry if I messed that up, about his trip to the zoo. Speaking to the camera in front of an elephant enclosure, Karim remarked upon the cool nature of these animals. Quote, all right, so here we are in front of the elephants. The cool thing about these guys is that they have really, really, really long trunks, and that's cool, and that's pretty much all there is to say. That's the first YouTube video. Boy.
Concise and to the point.
If they only knew then what they were unbottling with this thing.
Yeah.
Thank you, by the way. We're appreciated here at No Shitcast. The cloudy footage captured by a friend from high school has around 90 million views at the time of writing, with many contemporary viewers still holding affection for this simple beginning. Aw.
Yeah, sounds neat.
That's good. That's a really good kind of wholesome, it did start out with the best of intentions, but what do they say about the road to hell?
Yeah, it went from that to be careful what you say or we'll demonetize.
Oh, we'll demonetize you. Boy, that got ugly quick and dark.
That escalated quick.
But speaking of wholesome, and I just wanted to kind of touch on that. I thought that was a neat thing. We don't have to really talk about it too much. But speaking of wholesome and good things that you find on the internet, Devlin, what do we got? What do we got up next?
That's what I'd call this wholesome. Unilad, this is from Unilad. YouPorn introduces Wheel of Foreplay to boost intimacy during pandemic.
Wow.
Wheel of Foreplay.
Wheel of Fornication. Foreplay. Yeah. It says, we're here to help you stay home and bone.
You, sir, get a double spin.
You get a spin. No whammies. And stop. Oh. YouPorn has shared a new way for couples to spice things up with its Wheel of Foreplay, something it's described as, quote, more fun than making bread.
Yeah.
I don't yeah, Devlin's like, what?
What?
Yeah, I don't get what's the significance of that? Like, how's that connected?
I don't know.
I've made bread. It's all right.
Is it like a bun in the oven reference?
Or is it like money?
Kneading a loaf.
Anyway.
Oh, where can we go with this? Let's see. Rolling the dough.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll stop.
Yeah,
For some.
Last time I talked about bread, we were talking about the expanding universe, as I recall.
Yeah, that the expanding cosmic foam. Remember cosmic foam?
And bread. Cosmic foam and bread.
I forgot about that.
For some, being in the middle of a pandemic might have put a slight dampener on their sex life. What with the whole not knowing when this is going to end and being worried about the future. Palaver? Palaver.
I'm going to Google that.
Help me out here, big guy. What the hell's... Have you ever heard that word?
What is it?
Palaver. Palaver. Palaver.
Palaver?
It's a word. Fucking put that one in Scrabble. Unnecessarily elaborate or complex procedure is a palaver. Palaver. Can you make it say it, Devlin? Like, make it speak. Oh, well, that didn't help.
I hope it's palaver. Like caliper.
I don't know. Say it. Do it again. It's palaver.
Palaver.
It's palaver. Yeah.
It's also a historical
Oh, that
definition.
sounds bad. Palaver.
The historical definition is an improvised conference between two groups, typically those without a shared language or culture.
Okay.
Okay then.
I don't know, dude. That worries me. Anyway, so palaver. Let me reread that sentence. What with the whole
Sorry,
world?
I'm just gonna laugh every time I hear that.
The whole world with not knowing when this is going to end and being worried about the future palaver, which is exactly where the wheel comes into play. That was a long way around for that, man. I don't know if that was worth it.
Palaver.
For others, who knows? Your sex life might never have been better, but the site is still banking on the fact that you can never have too much help in that department, specifically when it comes to boosting intimacy. This kind of is like a weird internet tracking version of those sex dice that you could buy. Have you ever seen those?
Yeah.
It's like,
yep.
You just roll the dice. This is like, but you're just feeding all this information back to YouPorn now or something. Oh no, it's a random number generator, right, Devlin?
Yes, RNGesus. RNG.
Random number Jesus. RNG.
Yeah. So yeah. RNG.
Random
good RNG,
number
you pray to
generator.
RNGesus.
Dude,
What?
He bent my fucking brain the other night talking about this because I didn't understand what he was talking about. But apparently the young folk, anytime they're playing a game or anything where like they're opening a loot box or whatever, they pray to the random number generator or they call him RN Jesus.
Yes. We were so I was talking about
I had no
Dungeons and
idea.
Dragons and rolling good numbers. So we were praying to RNGesus to get us a good number.
Because I'm thinking registered nurse.
Yeah, RN, right? Yeah, but remember, it would be like when you're, praying to the dice. Come on, dice, give me snake eyes or whatever.
Right, Daddy needs a pair of shoes.
Yeah, that's their sort of vernacular version of "Come on, RN Jesus," like
RN Jesus, random number Jesus. Jesus.
The article goes. Go ahead. What? Nope.
I don't remember now.
Oh, that's good stuff. Partnering with the Future Sex Lab, the adult entertainment site hopes the online intimacy game will help couples who are currently isolating together, as well as those who aren't able to physically see each other, and also those who aren't in a relationship and just want some alone time. But before you even enter Wheel of Foreplay, both people need to read and agree to the terms of consent. Huh? Fuck.
Yeah, it looks like probably a consent form or something.
Was like there might be some disclaimers, provisos, a few.
There might be some touching and groping. So, could you sign this, please?
Once this is done, it's time for you to choose from a virtual deck of categories. Some like it hot, push it real good, cosmic connection, going the distance, and I touch myself and spin the wheel.
Well.
Each deck offers a different way to connect with your partner. The Cosmic Connection deck introduces mindful exploration. Mindful. The Some Like It Hot deck feeds sensual connection. The Push It Real Good deck promotes physical action, etc., etc. To play the game, you just need to choose a category that appeals to both you both and complete the intimate challenges that are then presented to you once you spin the wheel.
This is like different decks of cards that you're saying?
Yeah.
It's a card game.
It's a virtual card game.
So it's not something you can physically buy?
Well, my guess is that after this, whether this is successful or not, I'll bet they'll spin off an at-home version that you can just buy. Yeah. Because it obviously will translate, right? If you fancy, go ahead.
Who, me? Oh, I guess it would translate. You just have to give a deck of cards or whatever, right? Yeah.
And spin the wheel. It's like
I got a deck of cards that generate conversation about talking about Jesus.
You do not.
I do.
Really?
Yeah.
And you have this because
don't use them often. I talk about Jesus enough without them.
Oh, so it's just like a conversation starter thing so that you can go talk to other people about Jesus? So you just walk up and hand them a card?
I'm unclear on how you use it. I think that two affiliendos who wanted to start a conversation but was too shy to talk to each other might potentially use them together. But I honestly don't know. Because I talk to people about Jesus all the time anyway.
Right. I wouldn't think you would need a deck of cards to do that.
No, I need it to look at and go.
If you fancy some naughtier challenges, anything from putting ice cubes in your mouth before going down on your partner to having sex in a window, Push It Real Good is probably the one for you, whereas the Cosmic Connection deck offers more spiritual, mindful options that promote intimate brain health.
I was thinking about getting all of those decks and mixing them together.
It looks like it could be an app too. I don't know. Yeah, like this, shuffle them all together and let's just get fucking crazy and see what happens.
Pick 4.
You pick 4. A draw 4, yeah, from Uno.
Take a drink, pick 4.
I'm just flipping through the pictures here so that the people that are watching on YouTube can see it. That's pretty interesting though. So, it's funny. What do they say? Necessity is the mother of invention, right? So there you go, folks. If you're stuck at home, Wheel of Porn. Or no, what was it called? Wheel of Foreplay. Wheel of Foreplay.
Foreplay. Yeah.
All right, Mr. Devlin, what do we got on deck next? Right.
This comes from IFL Science. Museums share their most disturbing treasures in a viral Twitter challenge, and it's kind of wrong.
No, it says it's all kinds of wrong.
It's also kind of wrong.
big giant pieces of corpulite.
I put this first picture up and he freaked out. So I think what this is these like different museums around the world are challenging each other to put like their most fucked up exhibit or most shocking exhibit on Twitter so you can see it. And they're like having a shock off, for lack of a better word, or something. So let's see here. It says, in recent years, the social media presence of museums and galleries has taken a turn for the magnificent, as a fresh wave of humor and openness has seen institutions across the globe coming together for challenges such as solicited duck pics instead of, yeah, you get it. Anyway, and weekly, what's that? Curator battle. I should have been able to read that. This week's battle of the curators has brought a fresh wave of hell as museums challenged one another to post their creepiest object. The challenge was set by the Yorkshire Museum in the UK, who kicked off proceedings with the disembodied bun of a Roman woman with the jet pins still in place, the hideous swirl of 3rd century human hair, while an incredible find has an unfortunate appearance of a cursed croissant. How many other foods can we ruin for you today? So, yeah, that's pretty creepy. Ugh. Soon, horrifying treasures from the condemned collections of museums worldwide were filling Twitter feeds as museums battled to outgrim one another's findings. Hey, I was right. Here's a selection of some of the grimmest trinkets from history to take your mind off of the horrors of present day. I hope you're watching this on YouTube. Oh, God. It's a psychedelic lizard mermaid. Psychedelic lizard monkey is what it looks like. Oh, God,
That's
Devlin.
Awful. That also looks like horrible claymation.
Yeah, that's something terrible somebody stuck together is what it looks like. But yeah, it's like anyway. What else we got here?
Does it look like the alien creatures in the episode Cat's Paw of the original Star Trek series?
Huh?
Does it look like the aliens as featured at the end of the episode Cat's Paw in the original Star Trek series?
Man, I couldn't tell you that answer if you held a gun to my head. I've never seen that. I don't have a clue what you're talking about.
What's it called?
Cat's Paw.
Star Trek.
The alien.
Cat's Paw.
Yeah. Star Trek, the original series, episode Cat's Paw. the aliens in the episode Cat's Paw at the end of the series or
Are they like
show?
blue with like
They kind of look like Muppets or something.
Yeah, they're
Big
that
old
it's
tentacle
that
faces.
bad. Yeah, that's
Ugh.
yeah, you got it. It's that bad.
That's what I'm seeing in my head.
No, yeah, that's the parents.
That's what I'm imagining.
Oh God,
Is it like
someone,
Star Trek bad?
Someone like animated a GIF with them, and they're like wiggling back and forth. It's pretty sad.
Yeah, they were. Yeah,
they got like a crawdad pincer on one hand.
Yep.
Hey, that passed off as sci-fi on television back in the day, man. That was good shit. Now, don't be hating, Mr. Smith. Let's see what else. If the mermaid is the combination of the Old English mer for sea and maid for young woman, this really ought to be called a mer kill it before it lays eggs.
Take the alien approach of the movie Alien.
The next one actually it says, does something in a jar strike your fancy? And it looks like the second Alien movie called Aliens, right? It looks like those glass jars where they had the face suckers inside of them.
Yeah.
And I don't know what this is, a calf or something? Putting the no in Nova Scotia. I don't know what it's a deformed something that they've stored in a jar. Let's see. Bring out a curio battle. Yeah,
I'm sorry, what?
What is that? Hashtag creepiest object.
Scroll up more and it'll tell you. There you go.
What is it? Just a cursed children's toy that we found inside the walls of a 155-year-old mansion. We call it Wheelie, and it moves on its own. Staff put it in one place and find it in another spot later on.
Oh shit.
Yeah, it's creepy. It looks like something chewed the nose off of it, like a dog or something. Pinehurst Place. Live from the Toy Museum of Pinehurst Place, we present the drinking bear. Feed it a 2-pence piece, and it'll pretend to drink from its cup as it stares into your soul.
No. That thing has M&Ms for eyes.
It's creepy. It looks like it has those little red cinnamon hot candies. It's a rat. They say it's a bear. It looks like a rat with like red hot candy eyeballs.
It's like Five Nights at Freddy's or something.
It is Five Nights at Freddy's, exactly like that. Yes, that looks like Freddy. Look on.
Yeah, it's definitely in the same vein. Five Nights at Freddy's.
It's a horror. It's an indie horror game made by Scott Cawthon.
But with like
the 50-year-old guy shouldn't be bringing that up though.
Yeah, there it is. Yeah, right there, like that one. Yep. Oh God, he's scary. Yeah. Now imagine it animated and drinking beer.
And staring into your soul.
It says you couldn't pay me to voluntarily bring this thing to life, let alone ask me to pay it 2-pence piece for the pleasure. Hard pass. York Castle Museum, step aside all. These are handmade models of figures playing cards and a gold miner's hauling gold nuggets to the surface. But the figures are made from crab legs and claws. Typical Victorians, they loved weird, creepy stuff. Yeah, it sure is.
That's just weird.
You know, that reminds me.
Yeah, I got nothing.
That reminds me. It looks like a scene out of Beetlejuice, the movie.
It does, doesn't it?
Yeah, that's a total Beetlejuice thing. Yeah.
So that doesn't look creepy to me necessarily. That's interesting.
This is kind of good feedback because Eric can't see what we're seeing, but if we can make him laugh, then at least we kind of know the people at home think it might be funny. Thinking the Victorian era was all about colonization and the Industrial Revolution, think again. There you go, Eric. Got to rewrite that. All those history books you've studied so diligently. Fairfax Sassy House. Well, that sounds like an interesting museum.
Let's go to the Sassy House.
I want to go to Sassy House. Oh,
Sassy House.
I didn't. Swanky Tiger. I don't know if I mentioned Swanky. Anyway,
you did.
I remember that.
Just had a thought. I just love that name. I always think of this dude sitting at home in a tuxedo or chick in like a ball gown. I don't know,
like
if it's a guy or
Lacoste,
girl.
Also a tuxedo.
Nice.
Yeah, or also a tuxedo. Yeah, like playing the video game. You know, I'm so swanky with a cigarette with a big stick. You know. Anyway, just had a thought. Not not our object, but we did once borrow a silver snuff box from some museum that is said to contain the pubic hair of one of George IV's mistresses. Yes, that's right. A
God.
pubic hair snuff box.
I know, right? Jeez.
I have nothing for that.
Okay.
Wow. Okay.
Oh, this
It's
is
a
good
prime
stuff.
source for a historian.
That's right. No shit cast.
I'm going to let you see it. Are you ready?
Nothing is beneath no shit cast, Bubba. Norwich Castle at Redheaded Ali. How can we ignore such a call to arms? This particular item has caused a few nightmares for our followers this week. Our creepiest. Can you hear him?
No.
What?
Our creepiest object is this pincushion, complete with tiny children's heads. You're welcome.
They're
Nice.
4 peas in a pod.
You stick needles in their faces.
Wait, what?
It's a pincushion.
Oh, that's even worse.
Do you see the
Pins,
You
yeah.
see the
now I
pins in
do.
it now? Yeah.
Oh.
So
That's a mother who had some issues.
sit among the disembodied heads of 4 cursed children and ask the gods if honor matters. Oh, that's dark.
It's very intense.
This is from Chris Beresford. Can I offer you up the 18th century diving suit from the Rahi Museum in Finland?
That's Patrick. That's Patrick Star from SpongeBob.
Yeah, it's Patrick Starfish. Hey, SpongeBob, what does MOON mean? It's the same actor, right? Anyway, moving on.
Yeah.
We'd really rather you didn't. Anyway, is what it says. So here you go, Devlin. What do you think about that one, huh? Right. From our collection, a doll made in Germany that can be the stuff of nightmares. Anyway, I think everybody gets it. There's a plague mask.
Yeah, that's like an original plague mask.
That's like relevant.
Not as cool as the ones you would see today.
Not so much, no.
Wait, that's adorable.
And then I don't know what this is. After that assault on the senses, may we offer you up this soothing tonic for your eyeballs. And it's like an orangutan sitting and playing with a bunch of otters, which is really cute. Anyway. All right, so I thought everybody might find that interesting. Anyway, what we got up on deck next, Mr. Devlin?
Ottertang.
Ottertang.
This comes from what? You were gonna
The
say
markup.
something.
Well, yeah, go ahead.
This comes from the markup.org. Want to find a misinformed public? Facebook's already done it.
So I saw this, man. Now it's kind of a swing back to a little bit of the serious stuff here.
Mm-hmm.
Recently, I've seen some comments on like even the No Shit Cast posts, pro science and pro medicine posts that have wow. I mean, wow, a lot to unpack. But what I found, what struck me as really remarkable about what this article covers, what this article covers is that Facebook has different categories. When you market something, you can pick categories with which to market it to, right? Like,
okay.
So if you write a science article or if you want to publish something that's science related, you can actually run a marketing campaign on Facebook. Any page, I think. I don't know if any people can do it, but I know pages and stuff can do it. You can run with a credit card, you can run an advertisement. And you can target specific demographic groups, and they'll do it. One of those.
Wow, I wonder how they got those precise demographics.
Well, yeah, gee, I wonder. When this article was published, which was April 23rd, today, this group had found out that one of those demographics you can actually market to is called pseudoscience. Yeah. So, while vowing to police Backstreet Boy misinformation on its platform, Facebook let advertisers target users interested in pseudoscience.
Yeah, some of those people that's interested in pseudoscience still think that the Backstreet Boys are awesome.
Yeah, right. And aren't any issue at all and are just great. Yeah.
Yeah, and they would go and see him anytime and would never
and
be
have
worried
been.
about
They've
it.
actually been meeting up together because of the Backstreet Boys, because states aren't letting people go to Backstreet Boy concerts and stuff
Even in
anymore.
places where there isn't
Yep.
any Backstreet Boys, they're just taking the tape out and playing it. Like they
They're
want to
just-
see them. They want
yeah.
the Backstreet Boys to come and visit their local town.
Right. Last week, Facebook CEO Mark Zuckerberg wrote a post pledging to combat misinformation about Backstreet Boys circulating on Facebook. Quote, "We've taken down hundreds of thousands of pieces of misinformation related to Backstreet Boys, including theories like drinking bleach cures the virus." And it bothers me a little bit.
Here's the music.
They're a band. I mean, do we got to call them a virus? But that's what the article says. So, or that physical distancing is ineffective at preventing the disease from spreading, Zuckerberg wrote. But at the very same time, the website here, Markup found Facebook was allowing advertisers to profit from ads targeting people that the company believes are interested in pseudoscience. Now, Eric, pseudoscience means not science or not real science, right? It looks like science, but it's not.
Fake science.
Fake science. And theories, speculative theories, people discuss, that's not pseudoscience either. This is something that's being passed off as factual that isn't.
Yeah.
Would you agree with that? Like when people are saying,
like a catch-all category too of things that resemble science but aren't
science, right? Yeah,
like astronomy.
Yeah. But astrology, that's not.
Like that would be the pseudoscience
of astronomy. Yeah, instance, okay.
Which is what I actually meant to say.
So, according to Facebook's ad portal, the pseudoscience interest category contained more than 78 million people. Let's see, 100 million, it'd be almost a third of the population. So it's it's under a third somewhere, right? No, that's right, of the country. But this is worldwide, I would imagine. Facebook's like worldwide. So put that in perspective. This week, the Markup paid to advertise a post targeting people interested in pseudoscience, and the ad was approved by Facebook. Using the same tool, the Markup boosted a post targeting people interested in pseudoscience on Instagram, the Facebook-owned platform that is incredibly popular with Americans under 30. The ad was approved in minutes. We reached out to Facebook asking the targeting category on Monday morning. After asking for multiple extensions to formulate a response, company spokesperson Devin Kearns emailed the Markup on Wednesday evening to say that Facebook had eliminated the pseudoscience interest category.
That's nice. Just a big old swath of bullshit.
Yeah.
Gone.
But so
removed, filtered.
The fact that they named it pseudoscience means that Facebook understood that they were making money off of people propagating product to people that were believing
that
in
willingly wanted a product from their particular pseudoscience.
Yeah, and so is Facebook at fault here? Is this
what way?
That's what I'm trying to figure out. Like they pulled the group. And my first gut reaction was, what the fuck, Facebook? Like, this is part of the problem. This is how the bullshit gets spread, that gets propagated, because we know that, right? There's specific moneyed interests that prefer to keep people sort of fired up and in the dark about things, and they're using that category to propagate that stuff. However, doesn't a person have a right to believe in bullshit if they want to?
Wow, I could say some things here. It's easier, right? Like in the beginning, you see all these people that want to believe in pseudoscience, right? And you can provide a platform and make money providing that platform that would allow them to facilitate the things that they want, right? It seems like a mutual benefit to each other. But at some point, after that's went on for a while, someone's taken a look at it and they've been like, oh, that's kind of shitty. That's kind of bad. Maybe this is not ethically the right thing to do.
Right.
And so they've pulled it, but they had to kind of let it grow and take a look at it and see it. as the big, giant, cancerous, malignant thing that it was before they just chopped it out, right?
Right.
Jeez.
Because in the beginning, it sounds like a good deal.
Yeah. Yeah. So, I mean, it's funny
To
because it
some
says,
extent, we've had that on this show, right?
yeah.
Like we've had guests on that we felt would facilitate us as well as them, and it was a mutual situation. But after kind of looking at it for a while,
Yep.
we've like, wow, that's not exactly what we were thinking.
That's not the
We don't
direction,
want to,
right? Yeah.
yeah.
Yep. Yeah. I mean,
So I can see how they would make a mistake like that, or how it would seem like a different thing, but then over time would just grow a bit cancerous, right?
yeah. I mean, so there's an argument here to your point, Bubba, that I guess this stuff has to sort of be expected to evolve a little bit, right? Like it's going to make, anything of any kind of significance like this is going to probably make mistakes.
Yeah, and it's never going to go away. It's going to stay with us because
But
it's like
profiting,
religion.
but there is an ethical thing, like you're saying, about profiting off of things that could get people killed, and profiting off of what's the word I want here? Maybe people's less than complex understanding of certain
Vulnerabilities.
things. And that's what I mean. Yes, profiting off of people's vulnerabilities. I think that's kind of a shitty thing. Yeah, now that you sort of put it that way, there is an ethical piece to this for sure. Yeah, it's funny because it says pseudoscience, and then right underneath of it, it says reflexology is like the next interest you can pick. Anyway, so it's funny that Facebook sort of groups those two things together too.
Yeah, because that does. I don't know what reflexology is. Is it like when you have a reflex?
No. I think it's one of them things where it has something to do with your feet. Like they can push on the bottoms of your feet, and it can relieve headaches and or cure certain ailments and give you relief from certain ailments.
If I spent more time wasting my time, I would know less about the world that I live in, and I would have understood.
I have to wait until Devlin got up and left the studio, so I don't have my guy here to look it up for us. That's why we're sort of floundering right now. He's I think he's probably making bread or something right now.
Yeah.
I can sit here and make fun of him and say all kinds of horrible things about him because he's not here, right?
If he was still here, have a lot of joy in making bread.
He may, he's young enough. He may enjoy making bread, right?
Right. I mean, I can't make bread anymore.
No, it's not your thing anymore. No,
it's just gotten old hat, passe.
Right. Well, maybe you should be making bread by candlelight or something. Maybe
I should put some sunflowers and raisins in it.
Maybe, I don't know.
Or sunflower seeds.
Sunflower seeds, yeah. So maybe some sesame seeds or something like that. Hey, Devlin, can you look up reflexology for us now that you're back? We said you were in the other room making bread. He comes in, he's like, "What the fuck?" If you're not going to be in the studio to defend yourself, I'm going to talk about you. I would expect you guys to do the same.
I'm like in my bathroom. All I hear is him go, "Yeah, we could talk shit about Devlin since he's not here."
Eric and I were.
It happens.
I had made the remark that in the categories that on the screen that Facebook's no longer allowing you to market to, that when you typed in pseudoscience, the word pseudo, and the next selection it gives you like recommended is reflexology. So we were trying to figure out what reflexology is.
I've heard about it.
So I think it's the like pushing on the bottom of your feet thing for some reason. I don't remember.
I think I got
maybe so.
Whoa,
Reflex.
Okay.
What the hell?
COVID-19 art.
Certified reflexologists. Well, you have to be certified in it. Reflexology is a type of massage that involves applying different amounts of pressure to the feet, hands, and ears.
I have actually gotten this treatment before.
What'd you think?
It was good. It was actually really relaxing.
I can believe
it's a
that.
massage. It's really what it is. Yeah, it's good. It's very relaxing.
Offer a range of health benefits. Well, as long as they're not saying it cures cancer and shit, I guess. I mean, maybe it does. I don't know. Jeff Cody could probably tell us about it. It's involved in traditional Chinese medicine. So, anyway, thank you, Devlin.
Yes, you're welcome.
So, anyway, the point of that whole thing is that Facebook up until today had a category that you could market products to called pseudoscience, and that's no longer a thing. What we got up next?
It was.
Go ahead, Eric.
It was fine. It was fine while people were selling amethysts to open up people's third eyes
and their chakras and stuff. Right? Yeah.
Yeah, but once it became able to
Backstreet
cure
Boy
Backstreet Boys music, then nope.
Yeah, you can ditch that one because we already. You're good there. So we haven't talked about our Lord and Savior Elon Musk in a bit, like 2 episodes, right?
I bet he's got satellites in the air.
I bet he does.
Okay.
What do you got there, Mr. Devlin?
This is from TechCrunch.com. Elon Musk says Starlink internet private beta to begin in roughly 3 months. Public beta in 6.
So we've talked about our Lord and Savior Elon Musk. All hail, Elon Musk. All hail. We talk about how the astronomers were pissed off because his satellites were fucking up their telescopes, right?
That's like the ultimate move, honestly, though.
It is a baller ass move. It's like fuck your fuck your science. Everyone's getting high speed internet, baby.
Why are our readings off, Elon Musk?
Everybody's getting porn.
Everybody's getting streaming. And now they can play. What was that? Porn roulette. What was that thing? You spit the wheel of fornication. Foreplay.
What?
Yeah. Now Italians and Ethiopians can play together.
This is true.
Good for them.
SpaceX CEO and founder Elon Musk has shared more details about when in 2020 we can expect the company's Starlink low latency, high bandwidth satellite internet service to actually be available to customers. He said on Twitter that a private beta for Starlink would begin in around 3 months, with the public beta to kick off roughly 3 months after that. The initial beta test will apply to those located in high latitudes, Musk added. To date, SpaceX has said that the Starlink service will initially be made available to customers in Canada and in the northern United States in 2020, with additional service expansion to follow to other parts of the world throughout 2021.
Aren't we close to about 3,000 feet elevation here in Ohio?
I don't know. Yeah, I think so. 1,500, 3,000, something like that. So this is really kind of interesting, right? Because his internet access is his. You just got to be able to get to his satellites.
Musknet,
yeah. And can you get Musknet in North Korea? Like, you know what I mean?
He says you can.
Yeah, I guess if he says you can, you can. On Twitter, in response to a question about whether Germany counts as high latitude, Musk said that it does, indicating beta service at least may be available in more markets than the U.S. and Canada ahead of next year.
Then it's time to compare Bonn with Lancaster in height. Then,
sorry.
But
what's like Bond?
Isn't there like a city or somewhere in Germany named that?
Bond?
Or any kind of, just pick a city.
Yeah. Late last year.
No, sorry. I'm just saying, I've made it well known. I don't know the cities in Germany.
We fucked that up right good a couple times.
You're right.
Man.
Yeah. I think I'm still doing that.
So. Late last year, Musk tweeted saying he was using a Starlink satellite connection to do so. His tweet. We talked about that. And since then, the company has launched 6 batches of 60 satellites each to build out its network. The small satellites work by flying around the Earth in low orbit, passing off connection between one another to ensure consistent service is provided to ground stations. They orbit lower than geostationary communication satellites, which provide a latency and speed benefits, but don't remain in a fixed position, so a large number of them are required to provide consistent connectivity. That was one of the problems about, because you have to get a satellite to stay geostationary, it has to be so far away from the Earth that even at the speed of light, it takes a little bit for a packet of information to get there and back. So it was great for accessibility of communication. It sucks if you're like trying to play a video game or something on it because your latency's so high, you're behind everybody else in the game. So the lower orbit ones are closer to the Earth, so the signal gets up there and back much faster. The orbit lower than geostationary. I already talked about all that. SpaceX still has other hurdles to overcome in order to make its timeline, including continuing to prepare and launch more Starlink missions despite the challenging working conditions in place due to the Backstreet Boys. Man, them fucking Backstreet Boys fucking up our handheld porn streaming and all that. They suck. The company also still needs to secure authorization from the Canadian Internet and Satellite Operation regulators before service goes live in that country. And it isn't yet listed as an authorized provider on the Canadian government's official website. Does he give a shit whether governments say he can do this or not? You know what I mean? Like, should he even care? I mean, they're like,
well, he would have to care if our government did, but I don't think he would with others. But eventually, if it got bad enough, I'm sure our government would intercede on behalf of another government on a diplomatic stance.
I didn't put the article in, but I did notice that Spaceforce finally has its first. It's released its first like weapon or whatever program. It's they basically knock out communication satellites and shit from the ground.
Sort of like an EMP pulse thing or something?
No, it's like a big satellite dish. They just point at it and, and use like, I don't know if they use like signal jamming or, entirely how it works, but that's, they're not going to say.
Load the dish.
Oh, no, it's no, wait. So Devlin pulls up this article and says it's from, who is it, Devlin? Popular Mechanics?
This is from popularmechanics.com. U.S. Space Force's first offensive weapon is a satellite jammer.
And so the video is like a satellite dish with a big bottle of jam slamming into it and jelly getting all over it.
This is from Spaceballs.
Is that it?
This is them jamming the
satellite dish.
Dickhead's fucking satellite dish. He's like, we've been jammed. What is the flavor? Damn. Strawberry. That's what this is.
The U.S. Space Force has received its first offensive weapon system, but it may not be what you think. The weapon is actually a jammer capable of preventing adversaries from accessing their own military communications satellites. While that may not sound like much on the surface, it has huge implications for modern armed forces that rely on satellites to receive orders from home. The Space Force's 4th Space Control Squadron, Mr. Smith, based at Peterson Air Force Base, Colorado, received a counter communications system block 10.2 system. The Pentagon described it in 2019 as a, quote, expeditionary, deployable, reversible, offensive space control, effects applicable across the full spectrum of conflict. Did you get all that?
Yeah, it was a lot.
It prevents adversary satellite communications and area of responsibility, including command and control, early warning, and propaganda, and hosts rapid reaction capabilities in response to urgent needs. So maybe Elon Musk does need permission.
Yeah. He wouldn't like those satellites shot down.
Right? Because that's kind of what
Space Force.
By Space Force.
Yeah.
Oh, in other words,
an email from Space Force.
Did you? Oh, you got it.
I'm saying I can see him hearing this someday in the near future.
In other words, CCS, that's got an acronym, so it's official, can be flown into a wartime theater on a military transport airplane and then turned on to cut off nearby enemy units from their own military communications satellites. It would cut adversaries off from their own satellite communications, including video conferencing. Then they're fucked, and prevent them from receiving warnings of impending U.S. and allied missile strikes.
Especially since we can't meet face-to-face anymore.
Yeah, and then there's
what the shit?
That's an automatic dishwasher, and you put the plate in it, so you can watch it.
Why
spin
is?
It. It's an invention.
What does that have to do with anything?
Nothing. It's just a commercial because they got to pay for websites.
Load the dish.
Load the dish. No, that's what they're showing. This is how you de-jam it, dude.
They just keep putting reference. Okay, I get it.
CCS, according to Space News, was originally introduced in 2004 and has been gradually updated to the latest Block 10.2 standard. The latest version can jam across a wider spectrum of radio frequencies than ever before. The system is used by the Force Space Control Squadron as well as Air National Guard units of California. Okay, so
Stand back, Navy boy. This is some space tech here.
No, this has already been possible. Like, and they're saying like in 2004, there were airplanes flying in the Navy in Vietnam that could jam all radio communication and shit like that. So we didn't need okay, I'm sorry, but we don't need a fucking Space Force to do this. There's already... Anyway, most modern military forces rely on satellite. Yeah, okay, we get that. Yeah, yay, Space Force.
They're using Space Jam.
To me, this is just another giant waste of fucking money, dude. That's all it is.
But it's space money.
Anyway, okay. It is space money, so it's not the same, is it? No. We're over an hour. You guys got anything else you want to cover? No? Nothing? Devlin, you got anything you want to cover?
It's a breather.
A what?
What? Yeah, what?
It's a breather.
I don't know what that means.
It's got peppermint wrapped in a gauze shoved into what is essentially a copper pipe.
Okay. It lights up?
It's like Vicks salve.
Oh.
But not salve. It's like Vicks, like
we're not giving
peppermint.
It's like a peppermint thing for, does it, what, opens you up or something?
Mm-hmm, yeah.
I can't believe we're talking about this. Oh, God. Anyway, thanks for listening, everybody. Check us out at www.noshitcast.com. That's KNOWSHITCAST.com. Make sure you hit those like and subscribe buttons. Give a share. We greatly appreciate it. And we will catch y'all next time. Thanks for listening, everybody. Bicycles. A breather. You doing a breather?
Yeah.
Like what?
Yeah.